Imagine this. You're standing at your kitchen sink, just finishing a cup of tea. Your legs feel like lead. You've barely moved today, but they ache as if you've run a marathon. You sit down, sigh, and think, maybe this is just age. But what if it's not? What if the answer to lighter, pain-free legs wasn't in a doctor's office, a prescription bottle, or an expensive machine, but right behind your olive oil in the spice cabinet, a tiny bottle, often forgotten, yet powerful enough to transform how your legs feel in just 7 days. This isn't a miracle. It's not hype. It's rosemary oil, an ancient remedy now backed by modern science. In this video, we're not just talking about oil. We're uncovering a daily ritual that can help fight swelling, improve circulation, and restore your connection to the body that's carried you all these years. We'll break it down step by step. I'll walk you through the science, real stories from everyday people, and how you can turn 5 minutes a day into a life-changing practice. But first, I want to ask you this. When was the last time you truly cared for your legs? Let's begin. Here's what most people never hear. That heavy, swollen, aching feeling in your legs. It's not just old age, it's a signal, a quiet warning that your body is struggling to keep up. You see, after 60, circulation naturally begins to slow. The blood vessels that once flowed freely are now stiffer, narrower. Blood, your life force, can't move as easily down to your legs or back up to your heart. And when your legs don't get enough blood, they don't get enough oxygen. They starve, quietly, slowly. The muscles grow weak, the tissues ache, and every step starts to feel like dragging weights behind you. But that's not all. Your kidneys and lymph system, the parts of your body responsible for draining excess fluids, also lose some of their efficiency. Water starts to collect in your lower body. By evening, your ankles puff up, your shoes feel tighter, your legs feel like they don't belong to you anymore. You might think, maybe this is just aging. But the truth, it's not just aging, it's stagnation, and that can be changed. Because what your body needs isn't another prescription. It needs movement, it needs warmth, it needs a little help getting blood flowing again. And sometimes, that help comes from the most unexpected place, a small bottle of oil, hidden in your kitchen, waiting to be rediscovered. It wasn't a doctor who gave her the answer. It wasn't a new pill or a fancy gadget. It was a quiet afternoon. Margaret was cleaning out her kitchen cabinet, something she hadn't done in years. Pushing aside an old vinegar bottle and some dried herbs, she noticed a small glass bottle tucked away in the back. She picked it up and smiled. Rosemary oil. She had bought it years ago, after reading it might help sore muscles. But like many things, it had been forgotten until now. That night, her legs were throbbing again. But something was different. Instead of reaching for her heating pad or pain cream, she paused. Then she whispered to herself, "Why not?" She poured a few drops into her hands, rubbed her palms together to warm it slightly, and gently massaged it into her legs. The scent, herbal, fresh, earthy, filled the room. It reminded her of something old, something healing. And then, a quiet warmth began to rise under her skin. Not hot, not sharp, just soft and awakening, as if her legs were finally being noticed. That night, for the first time in weeks, she slept through the night. No cramps, no tossing, just rest. And in the morning, when she stood up, something felt different. Her legs didn't scream, they didn't resist. They simply moved. At first, Margaret thought it was just in her head, but the change was too real to ignore. By the second day, the tightness in her calves had lessened. By the third, she was walking with less hesitation. And by the seventh, it wasn't just her legs that felt different, it was her entire sense of self. So what is it about rosemary oil? This isn't just some folk remedy. Rosemary is rich in compounds like rosmarinic acid, known to improve blood flow and reduce inflammation. It helps the tiny vessels in your legs open up again, delivering fresh oxygen and nutrients to muscles that have long been ignored. It also eases tension in the tissues. That cramping sensation at night, that tight band behind your knees, it starts to soften, to release. And then there's something deeper, something that can't be measured in molecules or test tubes. It's the ritual, the warmth of your own hands, the scent filling the air, the quiet moment of connection between your mind, your body, and the legs that have carried you through decades of life. It's not just the oil, it's the act of caring, the message you send to your body. I see you, I'm with you. And that's where the healing begins. Margaret didn't just use rosemary oil once and forget it. She turned it into a ritual, one that changed not only her body, but her relationship with herself. Every morning, after a warm shower, she'd hold the bottle in her hands, let it warm slightly. She'd take a deep breath, inhale the grounding scent, and begin. She always started at the ankles, using slow upward circles, not rushing, not scrubbing, just firm, loving strokes, up the calves, behind the knees, across the thighs. She wasn't trying to fix herself, she was reconnecting with the strength that had always been there, just hidden beneath the weight of time. Each massage took 5 to 7 minutes per leg, but those minutes felt sacred, a time when the world faded away. No news, no noise, no screens, just her breath and the feeling of her own hands saying, "You still matter." She did it twice a day, once in the morning to energize her legs for the day ahead, once at night to ease the pressure of everything the day had carried. And within a week, the changes were undeniable, not just in how she moved, but in how she saw herself. Because when you give your body attention, real attention, it responds. It always has. Now here's the truth that most people miss. The oil works, yes, but when you pair it with the right habits, it becomes something far greater. Margaret discovered this by accident. One evening after her massage, she propped her legs up on 2 pillows, just to rest. 15 minutes later, she stood up and felt lighter. That simple act of elevation helped blood return to her heart, easing the pressure in her lower legs. From then on, it became part of her routine. Some nights, when her legs felt extra sore, she added a warm towel on top of the massage. The gentle heat allowed the oil to sink in deeper, soothing her muscles and calming her nerves. But here's the most powerful part, the stillness. No phone, no TV, no multitasking, just silence, breath, and the rhythm of her hands. Because when you slow down, your body listens. When you stop rushing, it begins to heal. This wasn't about becoming someone new. It was about returning to herself. And the difference? It wasn't just in her legs. It was in the way she walked, the way she stood taller, the way she believed again that her body could feel good. Margaret never expected miracles, but what happened over the next 7 days felt like one. Day 1 wasn't about relief. It was about presence. Just taking time, hands on legs, breath in sync, reminded her that her body still deserved care, and that alone lifted something heavy inside. Day 2, she noticed something subtle. When she stood up, her knees didn't groan, her calves didn't clench, and that night she slept through without waking up from cramps. Day 3, a quiet surprise. She walked across her living room and realized she wasn't shuffling, her feet weren't dragging, her steps had rhythm again. Day 4, she looked down and saw her skin. It wasn't dry or dull, it had a soft glow, it looked alive, and in that moment, so did she. Day 5 and 6 brought something deeper, confidence. She walked taller, she didn't hesitate at curbs, she climbed stairs without holding the railing. And on day 7, she paused, looked at her legs, and smiled. Because for the first time in years, they didn't feel like a burden. They felt like part of her again. That's the magic of consistency. 7 days. One small act of care repeated twice a day, and everything begins to shift. Rosemary oil worked wonders for Margaret, but it's not the only gift nature offers. Because every leg tells a different story. Some legs swell after standing, others cramp at night. Some bruise easily, and others ache deep into the bone. So what if your story needs a different kind of support? Let's start with arnica oil. If your legs bruise easily, feel tender after walking, or swell around the knees, arnica might be your answer. It comes from a bright yellow flower used for centuries to reduce inflammation and calm sore tissue. Margaret's friend Helen, who stands at her vegetable stall all day, now swears by it. She says the soreness behind her knees melted away within days. Then there's lavender oil. More than a scent for sleep. It calms overactive nerves, relaxes muscles, and helps the body let go of tension stored deep inside. Perfect for nights when rest just won't come. And if you struggle with poor circulation or visible veins, horse chestnut oil is your friend. Long used across Europe, it helps strengthen vein walls and reduce that heavy, dragging sensation by evening. For ankles that balloon after long hours, this oil can be a game changer. You don't need to choose just one. Some people blend these oils with almond or olive oil. Others switch based on how their legs feel that day. What matters most? Listening. Your body always speaks. These oils help you hear it more clearly. Oils are powerful, but real transformation happens when you pair them with simple, consistent actions. Margaret didn't overhaul her life. She didn't join a gym. She didn't start some complicated routine. She just moved. Every morning before breakfast, she walked around her block. 10 minutes. No pressure, no rush, just steady steps. That gentle motion, it worked like a pump, helping blood circulate and making the oils reach deeper. And then came the kitchen counter exercises. Standing tall, she'd rise onto her toes and slowly lower herself. This simple move, done just 10 times, strengthened her calves and ankles. Next, she'd sit in her armchair and stretch one leg at a time, not to strain, just to remind her thighs they still had strength. And whenever she remembered, she'd roll her ankles in soft circles, waking up the joints, moving the fluid, telling her legs, "You're not forgotten." No heavy workouts, no pressure, just 5 minutes. But the results? Massive. She also made tiny changes to her plate, a little more garlic, a sprinkle of turmeric, a handful of berries in the morning. These helped thin the blood naturally and support healthier vessels. And finally, she cut back on salt, just a little, especially at dinner. It was enough to reduce the puffiness around her ankles the next morning. These were small things, but stacked together, they created momentum. Because healing doesn't need to be loud. Sometimes, the quietest routines bring the loudest results. As more people try this gentle routine, a few common questions always come up. And they matter, because when you understand your own body better, results come faster. Can I still use the oil if I have varicose veins? Yes, but gently. Avoid pressing directly on the veins. Use soft, upward strokes, and always finish by elevating your legs. That one small adjustment can make a huge difference. I'm over 80. Will this still work for me? Absolutely. Age may slow things down, but it never takes away your body's ability to respond to care. In fact, many people in their late 80s and even early 90s have written in to say how surprised they were by how quickly their legs responded. Is this only for women? Not at all. Men need this just as much. Poor circulation, leg cramps, fluid retention, these don't care about gender. And the truth is, many older men who never tried massage before said they were shocked at how deeply it helped them, not just physically, but emotionally too. How long should I keep using it? There's no hard rule. Start with 7 days, then listen to your body. Some people continue once a day, others a few times a week. The goal isn't perfection, it's connection. What if I don't feel results right away? That's okay. Some bodies respond fast, others take time. If your legs have struggled for years, it may take more than a few days to unwind the tension. But even a little improvement, a deeper night's sleep, a little less swelling, one smoother step, is a win. Because small changes mean something is working. Before we end this video, there's one final thing I want you to hear. And I don't want you to just listen, I want you to feel it. Your legs have carried you through everything. Through childhood play and long walks, through celebrations, heartbreaks, and everyday struggles. They've stood for you when no one else did. And maybe somewhere along the way you stopped noticing them. Maybe you began resenting the swelling, the pain, the stiffness. But here's the truth, your legs still belong to you. They still deserve care, not because you're trying to look younger, not because someone told you to, but because attention is a form of love. And your body is worthy of that love, at any age, in any shape, right now. So tonight, take just 5 minutes, warm the oil in your hands, sit in stillness, and just breathe. Feel your hands on your skin, feel your legs waking up again, and remind yourself, this is what coming home to your body feels like. Because healing doesn't always begin in a clinic. Sometimes it begins in your kitchen with a small bottle and a very big decision to start caring again.